So today is a big day. We've got scaffolding going up around the whole house so that we can get started on the big roof replacement project. So we have some scaffolding, but not much. And so some guys dropped this stuff off yesterday. And this stuff off. And all of these boards and poles and supports. All of these buckets of various accessories, including some nice sturdy bolts to tie everything in, and all of this stuff as well. And these boards are pretty cool because they've got a hatch built into them and a ladder, so all of that stuff is internal to the framework rather than our stuff, the orange one, which you normally have to climb up from the outside, which is not ideal. And so the guys will be arriving soon with the rest of the scaffolding, because this is still not all of it, and then hopefully we'll get it up by the end of the day. Wait, that sounded weird. Hopefully the scaffolding will be up by the end of the day. Excellent. The scaffolding team have been and gone and left us with this wonderful erection, and it is really nice and sturdy. I'm actually quite surprised that I feel very comfortable up here, because I'm really not a big fan of heights. And this is good news, because some of the work that's going to be done to the roof we are going to be doing, and one of those tasks is going to be the repair work and the repointing of what we call the Roman tiles. It's the tiles that kind of stick out and form the eaves of the roof. Those are going to be staying, but they need a little bit of a clean up, a tidy up and a repoint. And so I'm really glad that we've got some nice sturdy scaffolding. It's all tied together, there's safety nets and all sorts of stuff. This is good, because I was kind of dreading being up here and having to work at heights. Now, whether I climb onto the roof or not is a whole other question. At the moment, the answer is no, but we'll see how things go as I get used to being up here. So I'm just going to have a quick walk around and take a look at what we can see from up here, see if there's any obvious signs of issues or damage or anything that we want to be aware of. And then in about half an hour's time, the roofing team are going to arrive and get started. Apparently the scaffolding is also a climbing frame for cats. Definitely a bit of gardening to do up here. So one of the things I was interested in taking a look at up here was the existing pointing on the Roman tiles, and as we suspected, the original pointing was done in lime, and then there's a bit of cement over the top, probably some repair work, or maybe it has been there since the beginning. So that's something that we'll scratch out, try and chip off this outer layer, maybe break out a bit of the lime, give the tiles a bit of a brush down and repoint. So the scaffolding feels like a pretty good working height for that kind of job. It's at different heights all around the building, just because of the ground height that they had to work with. But I'm sure we can just get a ladder up to climb onto the roof. Definitely some damage to the ridges, but all of the tiles are going to be going, so that's fine. So that's a lime mortar, and that's cement. Fortunately, that's a very thin layer. So you probably can't see from this distance or in this light, but the two kind of spiky things on the top of the roof, the finials, they've got some cracks and some damage, so we're probably going to end up replacing them, but we'll definitely be putting them back like for like. We found a supplier who has an almost identical piece that we can use. And same thing for these bits on the ends of the hips as well. This one is almost completely gone, but the one on the other side is a good example of something else that we'll reinstate as well. Nice and sturdy. So all in all, very happy with the scaffolding, very excited that the roof project is starting today, and we'll just have to see how things progress over the rest of the week. We're going to try and bring you as much of the action as possible. I don't know if I publicly want to commit to daily videos, but we're going to try and do at least a daily update, and then maybe a weekly recap or something like that. So hit subscribe, stick around, see what happens, and we'll catch you in the next video. See you later, bye. I think I've just heard the roofers pull up.